The project that I'm working on with my little munchkin pumpkins is the girls wanted to create their own super women heroes. And so this was mine. She's rainbow color, oh no, a chroma girl, and her powers are turning everything into multicolors. So her cape is going to be made of multiple crayons. And I just really basically wanted them to have a comic strip where does the character come from? What are her powers? What does she do with her powers? And who is her sidekick or her villain? And then the sketch of the character. Okay, well this was how I was laying it out. You know, where they come from, like the planet. What are the powers? Like if it was a melt girl, then what are they doing with the powers? And like 4 squares, and then the character sketch. So this is like the template that I wanted them to wind up with. She just sat down during class and wound up with a whole story about her character. And I think what really blows my mind is that not following any particular script or any particular playbook or lesson plan or anything that people say is age appropriate. I don't think there is anything that's age appropriate, because when you give children a challenge and they take it as far as they can, you're not deciding beforehand what they're capable of. They're capable of everything. I just love challenging their imagination, combining with the imagination and the creative skills, because it really helps their thinking. And part of becoming a creative person is your creative ideas and your creative thinking. And then of course I work on perfecting their drawing a little bit. I think that Water Walsa is the she's the arch villain against Bubble Girl, because she looks a little bit darker. Much fun. And this is another, this one is going to be, she's going to be Fire Girl. And I think that she's going to have the ability to, to set things on fire, and especially things that are bad, to melt them. It's just great for them to find their voices and to, wind up with something that's really their own. And so, of course, I printed out the standard Marvel heroes, but I also gave them the templates of, like, the Supergirl, and also in their little squares, maybe they want to accentuate with the sound effects, and as well as Spider-Man, and of course, the Wonder Woman. All these things, I think that, I think the creative thinking and the thought process does help them in everything. I think it just kind of spills over into everything that they do. And it's just great to hear them come in and say, oh, I showed my teacher what I did in your class, Miss Gail, and they just thought it was absolutely great. And the more that you give them that's open and they can just take their ideas and fly, they surprise themselves. And I think at the end of the day, when they surprise themselves, this is a gift that happens. It's just magic. There's such a broad difference, and there's a broad spectrum of abilities, and to make everybody feel good about what they do. There's kids that I can naturally start them on what they have to do, and they can take it themselves and just kind of run with it. And then there's kids that you have to kind of really give them every step of the way, to kind of help them along every step of the way. And then gradually they feel more confident to start working more independently. So is that I say there's two rules in my classroom. I said, A, you shouldn't be borrowing anybody else's brain. If your friend is doing something, don't borrow her brain, use your own brain. And because she's doing a pig, do something else. I said, and B, there's no such thing as messing up. Creativity is a process. You can change your mind, you can start over, but you're not messing up. that's a negative way to put it. We're here to learn how to do things better and better every day.